Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Your Worship the Mayor, our invited guests and others. Thank you very much for coming and sharing the celebration with us today. We're extremely proud of what's been produced, and you can see the quality of it all, and it makes us extremely happy. It will serve as a educational centre for many years to come, and your children, grandchildren and their grandchildren in time will enjoy this, I'm sure. There are one or two people that I'd like to thank, and I won't go on because there are hundreds of people that need thanking. I'm going to use the word all, so that I don't miss anybody out. But we do particularly thank the funders and the builders, the plumbers and electricians and suppliers and the volunteers and the members, all for their effort. In particular, I want to thank 4 of our members. The first member I would like to thank is Mr. Jim Andrews, the retired builder. Jim was one of the innovators of this scheme and has put in many, many hours of voluntary work. Another person who's worked long and hard is Mr. Clifford Sheriffs. He's our treasurer. He looked after the finances. He done a tremendous amount of research work, and all the little labels that you see right throughout the museum today have been composed by him and manufactured and installed by him. The other person that I would mention is Mr. Ian Donaldson from Teamwork South. Ian came to us after having completed Te Hoi Museum at Riverton and brought a wealth of information to us. We were very lucky with that. All the do's and the don'ts, and there were plenty of them. So, and Ian was also our facilitator on the project team and kept a record of all the goings on right throughout. And the next fellow, he's been around for a while. He came here at the ripe old age of 16, and he's still going strong. And that's Mr. Brendan Sparks, our patron. And he too has put in many, many hours of voluntary work. I'll now call on the Mayor to say a few words and cut the ribbon, officially open the museum. Thank you.
Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's certainly a pleasure and a privilege to be opening this museum. We have had a lot of problems in recent times over museums and art galleries as a result of the Christchurch earthquake, and it's been a very difficult time for us. But maybe this is a good example of an alternative type of development, and having specialist museums set up looking at one aspect of our history and heritage. And this of course has got a rich heritage in terms of the pressures of war often stimulate technological developments, and this here has been no exception. I remember my first visit with the city manager, and he was telling me about the Battle of Minsk, I think it was, on the Russian front, and they couldn't get messages through from the British Admiralty to their warships, but they could get messages through to here, and we could then send those messages on to the peak of this battle. And communications is such a vital process in that those kind of emergencies and crises. From the charge of the Light Brigade onward, it's been a major issue. So this is going to, I think, be great for the educational facilities. Our council looked at it and made a substantial grant to it, and now we're looking at the ongoing costs and perhaps a regional contribution to this, and I'm sure anyone from outside the region will be impressed by this tremendous work that's been done, and it's, as I said, a great pleasure to be opening it. It's going to be the educational purposes and are just going to really benefit Southland and Invercargill and the visitors who come to look at it from outside the city. So without further ado, hereby declare this Communications Museum open.
I'd like to call upon Mr. John Jones and Mrs. Mary Osborne to come forward. John will say a few words and then we'll ask them to cut the cake.
Just a minute, just before we cut the cake, I'd like to present a small gift to you in appreciation of our so thank you. Stand together, like bride and groom.
Okay.
Round this side, yes. Round this side. No. On the other side.
How do we do this?
Just any way you like. For any of you who don't know, well, quite a few of you won't actually, John has come all the way down from Te Awamutu to be with us today. He was an operator here in about 1944, John?
No, 44 years.
Yes, and Murray and her husband Henry Osborne, you lived down here, and Henry worked down here from when, Murray?
From about 45, yes.
So we thought it was appropriate for them to cut our cake for us. So thank you both so much.
So thank you, Paula, Your Worship. I'd just like to say very few words. I live a long way up at Te Awamutu, but I have been in contact with the committee for a number of years, and in today's language there's a word which is quite often used, and that word is amazing. And I'm going to now say that this is quite amazing, and I offer you my total congratulations on what has been done. Thank you.
As mentioned, I'm the patron. Originally I thought of this idea many years ago to form a group interested in the history of Southlands communication, and as things progressed we were able to achieve this with a lot of volunteers, and it's important to try and preserve the history of communications because one is it gives an opportunity for younger people to start talking to their grandparents about where things have come from to now, and also looking forward to where we might be heading into the future and the possible educational opportunities that could come about from all that sort of thing. I'd just like to mention a thank you to John Jones for coming such a long way to here, and also on some of our key members who have passed away, such as Mark Tressler and Arthur Williams. And Henry Osborne. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brendan. Just on a final note, we received a telegram actually. It was greetings. Thank you for the invitation to the ceremony. As much as I would like to, we come down for this momentous occasion, we are unable to. However, do imagine it will be something of a real hoot and a measure of long-awaited satisfaction for everyone who slogged away to make the dream come true. 42 years since it was the real world down there for us, many memories of all the hijinks and great fellowship during my appointed 6 months, which turned into 9 years. Do enjoy. Sincerely, Brian Webb. And he sent the telegram. It reads, thanks for invitation, regret unable to attend, congratulations, kind regards and best wishes to all. Brian and BB Webb, Upper Hutt. We also had a few apologies from John Pride, Bruce Graney, Jack Knight, Paul Casson, who's the CEO of Venture, and from June Strong. They were all unable to make it today. but all send their best wishes to us. So that's it. That's the official bit over and done with, and now we'll have cover tea.